What's going on, guys? I'm going to be going over the forum this week about the 5 principles. I'm going to be looking over the principles as I go over how I'm going to apply them to coaching. So I coach basketball at LA Harbor College. So the first principle is measurement of student characteristics. One thing I've done in the past is measuring, keeping track of player absences, um, and them showing up on time to practice. I feel like that will highlight the players that do show up on time. We'll kind of emphasize that on the players that don't, and hopefully it'll become a strength of theirs because we're trying to prepare them for life outside of basketball or outside of sport in general, so they can apply that to the real world. So measuring, them not missing practice, being on time, and things of that nature. So that's principle one. Principle two is the individualization of the student, and that the point of that I feel like is to highlight the person's strengths and how they're going to learn. So by personalizing it for each person, for example, if I have a player that's really good at distributing the ball to his teammates, um, that's a skill of his. So enforcing that and encouraging him to do that. In the learning aspect of that, um, a lot of players are visual. So I implore if I tell players, um, if you're visual learning, tell me, coach, I need you to show me an example of how you want me to do that. Some guys like to understand why or how things are done. So I tell them, hey guys, if you don't understand why we do this, raise your hand, ask me after practice, coach, why do we do that? Some guys like explanations, some guys like to see it. Everybody learns differently, so opening that door for guys to feel comfortable to talk or just to ask, or feel comfortable enough to ask the coach um, to personalize or individualize their learning style is going to be really important. So that's how I would apply that one. That's principle two. Principle three is the networking with personal supporters, and that when I think of networking, um, the first thing it says here is the strengths develop best in response to other human beings. Um, Mainly the other human beings that they're going to be dealing with most of the time are their teammates. So if I see a player is really good at making practice fun, and now I see a lot of players that don't have a lot of fun at practice, I will probably group those guys together, the guys that have fun at practice and the guys that don't. So hopefully, the strength of the player that has fun at practice can show that upon the players that don't. If I have a player that's good at giving examples, I'm gonna show them, put them with the guys that work best, that or learn best when they're given examples. So that networking and putting those guys together and working together um, will basically be the principle three, networking with their personal supporters. Um, Principle four, that one is deliberate application of strengths. And that one um, mainly said within and outside of the classroom. And again, that's something I've tried to do in the past with my high school players. Um, Basketball or sport is not what life is all about. My whole reason for coaching is to develop them in the boys into young men. So applying what for having them come to practice on time or showing up every day, having a good work ethic, working hard, and working outside of practice. Um, I feel like by putting that into instilling that in them will allow them to apply that outside of the classroom or practice. Principle number 5, that is intentional development. Read the whole thing. Intentional development of strengths requires that educators and students actively seek out novel experiences. Um, with that, um, again, a lot of guys in sports, they get wrapped up in the sport that they play. They don't want to participate in anything else. So I feel like if us as a team, if I were to put an idea out, hey, every for every sport, we're gonna go at least to one game of a different sport and support them. It'll develop school spirit, and it'll show them different side of athletes and their classmates or their peers performing. And again, it'll highlight their strengths, and will also build that network within their own school and things of that nature. And that is my forum for today. I look forward to watching you guys' videos. It's an interesting topic, and I'm interested to see how you guys are going to apply it to your guys' coaching. All right.